It is 7 PM on Tuesday, March 14th, 2023, and we are going to open the regular board meeting. Roll call, please.
Yeah.
I have trustee Chris Sample,
Here.
John Talbot,
Yes.
William Luxembourg absent, Nathan Mize,
Here.
Jen Christensen. Here. Bill Matisi,
Here.
President Rick Word.
Here.
Treasurer Brenda Onabini.
Here.
I, Clerk Sandy Mize, here. Public Works Supervisor Brett Fergie.
Here. All right, rise and say the pledge of allegiance.
Well, right. To the same.
The flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right.
All right.
Next.
On the consent agenda this evening, we have 3 items. Number 1 being February 14th, 2023 regular board meeting minutes. Number 2, bills payable dated March 14th, 2023. For a total of $37,299.07. Number 3, outside meeting pay for elected officials, total of $100. At this time, do any of the board members wish to remove any of those 3 items for further discussion? If not, we'll entertain the first motion.
I move to place agenda items 1, 2, and 3 inclusively as consent agenda items. Further, Sorry, I'll start over. I move to place agenda items 1, 2, and 3 inclusively as consent agenda items. Further, I move that all items be considered together as a consent agenda.
Jen makes a motion to place items 1, 2, and 3 inclusively as a consent agenda. Nathan seconds. Is there any discussion? Shouldn't be. Roll call, please.
Jen,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Nathan,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
William is absent.
Motion passed 702. And second motion.
I move to adopt items 1 through 3 inclusively on the consent agenda in a single group pursuant to the omnibus vote procedure specified in the Illinois Municipal Code.
Second.
Jen makes a motion to adopt items 1, 2, and 3 inclusively as a consent agenda. John seconds.
He did.
Roll call, please.
Damn proud of them.
Bill,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Nathan,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
William's absent, Jen.
Yes.
That motion passes 703. We do not need the third item on there. Item C. Under officer, do we have any questions on the fuel or water bill or water bills?
Actually, I do. It seems like we're having pretty large water losses every month. What was this? What this one?
That's due to the filter backwashing.
Yeah.
We're doing that every month.
No, we're waiting for that sample to come back to find out what's wrong with the media.
Yeah, that,
Oh,
yeah, it's
I-
going into back.
All right.
Yes,
So it keeps backwashing.
yes, yes.
I must have forgot that.
You did.
That's okay. Comes with age. Only gets worse.
Yeah, don't get any better.
Just like the girls with gray hair. Utility bill drawing. We have nobody here, so I'll reach in and grab one. Get a blender remotely draw it. 161 Autumnwood.
Mhm. Mhm.
All right, move on to Sandy.
FOIA report is in the packet. Let me know if you have any questions on it. And then the other item on there is the discussion on the building permit for 134 Harvest Glen. I put information in the packet. Hopefully you guys take a moment to look at it, but they are requesting to build a fence in a drainage easement behind their home. Give me 1 second here. I am trying.
But, okay.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, but normally we tell those people, go ahead, but if something happens and they have to take your fence down.
They normally do, however.
Problem with the drainage. is
I never had a chance to go drive. I forgot to drive by there to see
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
trying to share my screen tonight with.
if they have like a lot of water.
So let me see if I can. pull
Like
this
by
up.
them.
This is now have.
It's gonna shove the water up into the neighbors.
Well, I'm just thinking if it was
So-
in a,
Right.
This All right, Glenda, I've done a pretty good job of sharing my screen, but I don't know how to share the photo, so
Oh, it's
you're just gonna
already
have to
shared.
not see this one. I'll work. on it. But the photo here, you'll see this is the existing fence of their backyard neighbor.
Okay,
This is the easement,
because
or sorry, it's a utility easement.
yes, because everything there is in the backyard.
Yep, and then right here would actually be, we think is probably their property line.
Line.
Spoke with this homeowner and they think their fence is actually outside of the easement anyway, which means that it would be 6 feet from here to just for the property line and then another 6 feet for the easement. The problem is, as you can see, is this big green box in the backyard.
Right.
Also, I don't know that we want or to take on giving permission for them to build on their neighbor's land, because this is part of the easement that is their neighbor's property.
Yeah, that would just.
Even though they,
So what are they trying to do? Hook
Well,
onto the,
They're trying to hook onto their neighbor's
So they
fence,
don't
which
have-
requires them to go across the full length of the easement as opposed to just to the middle of it, because their neighbor's already across it.
I just didn't know.
The neighbors on their side.
The neighbor is on their side.
how much flow do we have down there in the
That's
drainage?
utility.
It's
a utility
I
easement.
misspoke, it's utility, not.
It just looks like there's
They're gonna-
leaks that
they're gonna
flow
have to
through
get-
there
They
potentially
will
though.
have to get written permission from that landowner to go across their land.
didn't your thing make it sound like they talked to them already?
It did. The letter from them says they already talked to them. I personally, we know the homeowner. She used to work here. So I talked to the homeowner that owns the fence, used to work for the
Uh-huh.
village. So I did talk to her too. And I asked her and she's like, I don't really have a problem with it, but if they don't build there, then, they'll maintain the land. So that's not an issue. But I also asked, I said, okay, so are you giving them that land? And she was like, no. So we're back into this gray area of what level of permission do we want to give?
Are they doing like a wood fence or are they doing a chain link?
Does,
It said that in the.
does Illinois have squatters rights or maintenance rights?
It does after like 20 years.
Well,
Let me see.
I was gonna say, because I know I have neighbors who, because like that are behind me, that
Fences and-
one put it, like we were the only ones that put it on the property line. And others had like space.
Hmm.
And another owner for a house bought it and then they had like a full like lawnmower, push mower swipe, and then they turned around and they extended it onto the neighbor's fence.
Yes, which is typically can be done, but I suspect this isn't.
Don't our ordinance require a easement or walkway between fence lines though?
It does
No.
not, but it doesn't allow building an
Well,
easement.
we have that on my street and the 1 foot they left between their fences just tends to be. all
Right.
weeds.
Well, that's
Right.
my neighbors have like a 3 foot section between
Right.
their two fences
We have
and
that
it
with
just
the one
seems,
behind us.
yeah, it seems very.
We have that
And I thought
behind
that
us,
was something that was
but I
required.
mean, so much trash
So, I mean. I
and
would- I
leaves
would-
get in there and you can't get out of it.
No.
According
tough.
to.
I
according
mean,
to-
they need to have
Like,
something
just
in
hang
writing
out.
between the two parties because
Is that-
literally 20 years from now, somebody's gonna go, well, I just bought a house. and
Exactly.
That's kind of where I'm at what level of responsibility do we
Just
have?
hang out.
And here's the other issue, and looking at it from an overhead,
Well, we can't issue a permit to allow them to build across the easement on somebody else's property. That's our level of responsibility.
yeah.
I didn't, we sure, well.
An agreement would have to be made for property.
That's what I said, but
Well-
we can't authorize them. to do
I-
that.
And I was gonna say, I personally feel that it would be the other homeowner's responsibility to apply for a fence permit because it's their land. It's not the neighbor's land, but hold on one second, there.
Fencing it comes their land over a certain amount of time, doesn't it not?
Well,
Without
I just
Without
think,
an
I
agreement, yes.
was gonna say,
I mean, without an agreement, there's.
because isn't that a possibility of issues when they go to sell their house? if they-
Yes.
It gets marked off of
Yeah.
property line
Right. 'cause
or
I
a fence line instead of.
Right.
know the houses
All right.
behind me.
I used to see these things all over TikTok, people fighting about property lines.
Yeah, over a foot or something.
Yeah.
Had some good.
That you're not using.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Seems ridiculous.
neighbor wars, yeah,
Sandy, did they say why they wanted to put this?
I deleted. it.
That's up.
but Loved it, but deleted it.
This is actually a horrible photo of this, hold on, let's see if I can find.
Fall
the
in nice
photo.
areas, it would fall.
Now,
Oh, the plastic or
I was-
Yeah.
did you see you've already made a decision?
He did.
just.
Uh-huh.
It's a. I never. had-
Well, we keep doing these, or you can, because this is gonna get confusing to people sitting there 30 years from now.
This house, the ground roof is the one that is requesting the fence permit. And then this one is the chain link fence that you see in the photo is right here.
What gap is between those other two fences?
Where's the chain link? Oh, the black.
Here, this right here is the chain link.
They pulled that in.
And all, they got like 6 or 7 feet in.
Out of the easement completely, but so here's that little green box. So if we allow them to put the fence in, they put it here and all the way down here, essentially putting this green box in the green utility box within the fence.
Which means that anytime they'd have to get at it, they'd have to get on their property.
Well, and they'd have to get, and this is kind of the discussion I had with the homeowner, which is it's a dog issue.
Uh-huh.
So if the utility needs to access that box, then they can't sit around and wait for the
No, because that's,
figure out whose home to take.
I believe that's the cable and internet.
I'd leave
box.
it open so it's accessible and then, cause Sharon put hers where it needs to be.
I actually think hers is.
It's kind of a non-issue until they work out land issue. In my opinion.
Yeah.
The village cannot authorize them to build across someone else's
If
land.
I'm 014, I would want to give that. That's a lot to give up.
Can they go around the box?
Yes,
Yeah.
I actually recommended that or recommended.
Well, then you're gonna have a little
just going
square
on-
fence.
Yeah.
But it still saves the money of not doing, 440 feet of fence line though. I mean,
Yeah.
and I'm assuming that's part of the reason is to utilize as much space as possible
We-
and just save on cost.
I think you're better off just telling them we cannot authorize you to cross property. Leave it at
I've
that.
So-
seen those little jut outs though before.
So if the board is
Pretty common.
okay, I will respond with, we're just not going to authorize building across property lines and let them come up with whatever they want to come up with to come back to me with.
Cause if
Okay.
they're gonna put it on the line, they need to get a survey because.
I guess.
Yeah, but they're
I'm
not
just
even asking to
concerned
put it
with
on
if
the
they-
line. They're asking to put it onto the neighbor's yard.
Right.
But I'm
I-
saying.
They,
if
they
come
want to use
step back-
neighbor's fences in their back.
Well, I get that.
If the neighbor approved it and like gifts them the land or sells the land to them or however that works itself out, I would be inclined to do it if they moved around.
But the only legal
Well,
way
they
to
need
do
to
that would be you'd have.
Right, yeah, but they would need to
provide
own
the
the land.
zoning to give, no, they're not gonna go to that much expense for a fence.
The only thing that
No.
I would
Yeah, you
question,
just put the fence in at that. point.
Also,
Are you guys okay with them just responding that we cannot give them authority to build across property line?
Yeah, work out
They
the
have to
property
figure
issue
this out-
and
They have
come
to
back.
figure this out themselves.
Call,
Our permits go, it would have to stay on their property.
call a lawyer if you need.
And
to
then
question.
anything built in the easement, if need be torn down, will not be rebuilt by the.
'Cause I
Yeah,
went-
but we'll deal with that when we get to it.
Actually,
But
yeah.
for now, I'm just going to respond that we
Alright.
can't accept we can't approve the permit simply because it's outside of the scope of their property.
Right,
Okay.
So our only involvement will be with the permit issue. And-
but then at least it's on their property.
But
And it's their.
Our only involvement, Sandy, will be with the permit issue, correct? And they can handle the rest.
Yes, no, I don't get involved
Does that
in
make sense?
Sure,
relations
yeah.
between.
And you said this was a dog issue?
That's-
Did you, pardon me?
In case the utility has to get back to the box.
Yes. But it's
But
a
there's
good
plenty of
point.
those.
I'm not discussing that. I'm
Correct.
not talking about- That's not the village's position.
Right.
Village's
It's not our purview. All we want is the permit and they can work that stuff out. Cause we normally don't get involved in these disputes when they turn into disputes.
matters between residents.
Especially over fences.
That's all I have.
Moving on, Brenda.
In your packet is the February treasurer's report. That's it.
Right to the point, Brenda.
Any question on the treasury report? Moving on. Jen?
Anybody have any questions on our agreement with the fireworks company for our July 3rd fireworks? It was in the packet.
$1,200 more.
What?
Was what it was, $1,200 more,
15.
15?
I did 17.5.
Apparently I can't add. All right.
Your number is
And
11.
you're gonna be.
That keeps us the same,
Thought it's 17.4.
Yes.
keeps us with
and-
the same show,
And,
correct?
in my discussions with him, he is, actually getting some new things and we may
Yeah,
be
you're
his debut,
His guinea pig or
some of his new,
debut.
some new fireworks.
Did you tell him if it was?
I have a couple that I liked from previous years.
It's out?
Yeah, he said he's gonna make up for it.
All right.
Yes, he's,
That'll-
yep,
Oh
he's
my
gonna,
God,
yep,
tell him
he
that.
said he's going to, he knows.
There'll be a train in the
Yeah.
sky with the DJ logo.
but he,
Sold.
okay, so
Creates an attitude.
I make a motion to approve resolution 23-11, a resolution approving and authorizing execution of firework display contract service agreement to engage services of RKM Fireworks Incorporated.
Second.
Jen makes a motion to approve resolution number 23-11. Nathan seconds.
That makes you
Any
go.
discussion on that resolution?
I think so.
Roll call, please.
John,
Yes.
Nathan,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
Williams absent, Jen,
Yes.
Bill.
Yes.
Passes 7:15. Anything further, Jen?
Just that I'm working on the Easter egg event for April 1st. It's gonna be registration at 10. That hunt is gonna start at 11, and I have Jim and Joy Kohler doing the DJ. I haven't not heard back from Holcomb State Bank yet if they're gonna be able to provide people. They're providing refreshments. But I don't know if they're gonna have people to be able to come and serve the refreshments because it is during the end of spring break. Some of those employees, so. But that is all.
Anything on behalf of William?
Nothing.
Bill?
Nothing really, except I'd like to thank the sheriff's office for handling that mishap or accident that happened early Sunday morning at Chicago Avenue and North Maple. So that's all I know about it. I think it's still under investigation, but I want to thank them for their quick response on that.
It was an accident.
Mm-hmm.
ATV accident?
Yes.
72 and Junction. On the corner by the fire hydrant.
John?
On the agenda tonight, as everyone seen since you read your packets, there's an agreement with Fair Graham. This is basically the construction observation. Basically that's so they'd have a man on site. Originally their daily cost was gonna be around 59,000. Nate kind of worked with them and says, we don't need you out here every day. We just need you out here at certain points. Primarily looks like it will be a weekly thing. Typically, those costs are 10 to 15% of the overall project. So that 42,500 certainly falls within that realm. I'll just go ahead and make the motion. We get into discussion. I make a motion for resolution number 23-12, a resolution approving and authorizing execution of services, construction engineering services between the village of Davis Junction and Fairground for Community Park Pond project.
Second.
John makes a motion to approve resolution number 23-12. Jen seconds. Any discussion on that resolution? Roll call, please.
Nathan,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
Williams absent, Jen,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
John.
Yes.
This is 7:18. Anything further, John?
That is it. I'll keep everybody informed as we get closer to the starting of construction. So.
Chris?
Barry?
Chris?
Barry?
That's all.
Nothing.
All right. Nathan?
Nothing. Just still working on the filter thing.
Result. We get him back?
We did,
We got it back, yeah. Sorry.
no, go ahead if you want.
We got it back. We just haven't. We don't have a solution to the
Problem.
hiccup at the moment. We'll call it a hiccup.
All right.
So,
I like
it's being worked on, but
More to come.
Yes.
hopefully it'll be all right. Things, yeah, it is what it is.
It is still rolling.
All right. Anybody have anything on economic development? Does it sound like we're gonna have our agreement soon? Soon?
Which agreement?
State of Illinois.
Oh, yes. Yeah, it said something about it.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, rebuild.
Yes, the rebuild
Rebuild.
bill.
But the big,
It's like-
bigger-
She was like,
She kept saying soon because that was her favorite word
That
for
is me.
years. But
Yeah.
yes, so hopefully we'll have that agreement with the state of Illinois for the rebuild Illinois
Right.
downtown.
Yeah.
Downtown.
And we'll get an email.
yard,
Tell
whatever
me
it
to
is.
click yes or whatever.
Okay. Anything on unfinished business?
Yes. DE policy to allow employees to donate vacation time. I think, with the governor passed the Paid Leave for All Workers Act yesterday, which,
1 hour per 40.
for all workers, they are, after working 40 hours of work, they get 1 hour of leave time. So,
I don't know that it's a replacement now that I think about it. I'm sorry I didn't think about this earlier when we were talking, because what we're talking about is allowing people to do paid time. And so that's unpaid time. And so this would be a donation of paid time.
That is paid time off, the governor's.
well,
pay.
they
No,
will,
the governor's is unpaid.
no.
Oh,
is
no,
it
but-
paid?
They is
paid.
paid.
It's
We have
paid
to
time.
pay them.
But it's,
Yeah,
it's
we will have
only
to
an
pay
hour
them.
for every 40 hours they work.
Yes,
Yeah.
1 hour. It'll
So I mean,
accrue.
it still doesn't change, like, they don't have enough, people could donate
Well,
to that.
Yeah, so we might want to do it.
But our
Okay.
seasonals aren't eligible. It's just
Yes, they
part.
are, every worker.
No, that's not
Yeah.
what it says. If you read
Yes,
down
it
further,
does.
no, it does
Well,
not.
I don't know, I have this from our lawyer, so yeah,
Could we
That's
take
not
that-
what I
Every
read.
worker.
it's an
I
act,
get
huh?
more than that already.
Not a seasonal.
What did they send?
Yeah,
Every
employee.
worker,
Hold on a second, everyone. What did?
what, the paid work, it's All Workers Act.
Come on.
So you, and I was reading quite a few different places today. The act requires employees to provide employees with up to a minimum of 40 hours of paid leave in a 12-month period. Alternatively, employees can earn a pro rata number of hours of paid leave at the rate of 1 hour of paid leave for every 40 hours worked, up to a minimum of 40 hours that they would get. And it appears that part-time employees will earn paid leave based on the number of hours worked in a 12-month period and will not necessarily reach the maximum of 40, the minimum of 40 in the 12 months, but they will still be getting it.
Or theoretically a week. So basically,
Yeah.
they're saying everybody will get at least a week off, paid vacation.
Paid, and,
They're quite generous.
and if they need to take off, they don't have to give you a reason.
It's paid leave. Why would? they
Yeah, you don't have to
a
give
reason?
reasons anyway.
Oh, well,
If you're sick,
Well-
you're sick. You don't have to say why.
well, I'm saying, they can say, I'm not coming in, or they could leave and
Basically, it's
They would-
giving them sick
they-
leave if they.
and they won't get anything.
Use the example when he passed it of employees who start off and maybe have been at their job a month and then get a flat tire and an hour late for work or something like that, and then lose that hour. And that's critical when you're working in some of these lower end hourly jobs. And so it would give them an alternative to assist. So that that person who lost that hour because of something out of their control.
I had no issue
And I thought
with
that was a good.
I don't-
that was a good
I-
scenario.
I
It's
think
after
we still
90 days.
Proceed with the
That what it
ability
is?
to donate.
You have to be 90 days with.
Because
The donate.
if they still don't have enough to cover, I mean, it depends on how long they're off. I mean, if they don't have enough to cover, so the people willing to donate paid time off to them.
Yeah, especially, I think Chris's in case of using this would be for, you had said that sometimes for, like.
Ours was sick time.
Serious.
Right, right.
Oh, and need time off for.
I don't see the difference though. I mean, what's the difference unless you're, you know,
You can front load that.
well, I'm just saying, if I want to donate for somebody, I don't really have too much of an issue with that. You know, I wouldn't want somebody who's. Never mind. I don't have.
Look at the bright side. The governor signing the law just created more hours that people could donate.
There you go.
Yep.
But if I
It won't affect, it won't affect our employees
I
that
wanna
currently
get paid
are
for
getting paid time.
It's
not gonna affect those.
Right, just the,
Yeah, something you're not gonna use.
And
you
it's
just
all
don't
set
understand
up
why
in the
it's
same-
not.
Cool, right?
Employee who
Right.
would not be
Well,
eligible. for
It
this.
basically does, you know, and
okay.
if I want to give you a day, I don't see what the
It'll start
difference is.
January 1st.
I'll discuss
That's
with you
something
after
we're
the
not
meeting,
gonna
so we can discuss the specifics
Well,
that you're looking at, and then you'll get it.
Substantial amount of money, someone would donate time.
Brittany got that one.
Then
She
I'll
didn't
get
get that one.
more.
either.
Like, we
We'll
won't.
talk
You would
after.
think it would,
Yeah.
that-
All right.
Anything further on unfinished business?
It's very.
Yes, it's just union or non-union employees, it doesn't matter. It's gonna be in addition to.
No.
I'm still waiting to hear from them and their attorney. I did, as I've been out of the office the last, and so I did mentally make a note to follow up with them this week.
Brenda, did they make a difference? Does it make a difference? Was it mentioned in either way for union or non-union employees? Because union
Yeah,
normally,
it does.
That's kind of
But we don't
interesting.
have any unions.
Yeah, we don't have,
That
it's,
will be interesting with union because they
It-
typically
that-
don't offer PTO.
well, it does make a difference.
Our former
Doesn't
park
matter.
district, we wouldn't have. to
Unions
pay
are
either.
separate.
I was gonna say,
Unions
they
are
probably
separate
have,
from
they
this.
operate on their own
Really?
contract, so.
Yeah.
That's a.
Union are
But that's
separate,
not all
so we don't have to worry about that.
Well, they typically all get benefits of that.
They get benefits, they don't get
I'd-
PTO.
And schools are different. There's a few things, there's a few places that.
Brenda, I misspoke. It's part-time college students are not eligible.
So they-
When they
If
work.
we have any
for-
part-time
they work
college
for the-
students here, they're not eligible.
When they work for the university. that
Yeah, they
go
have to work for the university. That's the part I
Exactly.
read about part-time.
Yes.
Oh my God, we're not.
Well, the articles are so vague sometimes.
What did the attorneys give you? Is there something that you could share with us so we can read it?
Yeah.
I mean, and the net for the next, whatever.
And if you already,
Send that to Chris individually.
Yeah, that'd be
I don't
great.
know that any
You
other.
just send that to me.
But I'm not sure that anybody else is interested
Send it
in
to
them.
Chris and I.
but-
Said to you, yeah, I can do that.
All right, anything
I'm in.
other on unfinished business?
and if you already have a sick leave program in. place,
Public.
it Just has to comply with.
Well, I'm sure it does. Who doesn't give at least a week's vacation?
Everybody's staring at Glenda's name.
I know, but I don't know that I fixed the volume.
She unmuted. Now she muted. Now she
That's a
unmuted.
nice addition for people.
Hold on. I have to figure out what else.
Vacation thing.
4 weeks a year or more.
I would hope so.
Hold on a second.
There you go,
Really
your
use it.
tap handles.
Okay, so basically all my
Can you
season.
try again,
Fall
Wanda?
that's when they start.
Do I go ahead or not?
I'm by me, I don't really care either.
Here we go.
Rick, can you
Fine
tell
by
me
me.
if we've made any statement to the county regarding the HB 4412 legislation that's in front of the state legislators right now?
Can you be specific as to what?
What's that one
bill
giving
is,
away?
Glenda?
That's regarding the counties and towns not having a say about windmills or solar.
Oh, I thought I did read that somewhere.
Oh,
The
Wasn't
state
that in-
is going to give the approval. We would no longer have approval rights.
So we can, what you're saying is that we wouldn't have the rights for our own land in our own county? That the state would be able to circumvent or
Whatever law, the way I read it was whatever
limited
laws,
domain kind of?
whatever the laws that the state put in place, we are not allowed to adopt anything stricter than that.
Oh, okay.
And so they essentially get to determine what the rules are, which means that they could state that municipalities have no say in setbacks or distances or locations.
oh, but we'd still have the ultimate approval of it.
I don't know that we would.
Something's
Yes.
wrong.
But we would still have the right to approve or deny.
The permits are
Permits,
what
though, right?
they would
I
need.
don't know.
No,
Brent-
they're trying to eliminate that.
Glenda, just verifying, you said 4412?
HB 4412.
At least they'd have to watch the
4412
presentation.
amends the State University article of Illinois Pension Code.
You're on the wrong group. Here, let me send it to you.
As long as they have to watch the presentations, that's fine.
All right, here we go. Sets statewide renewable energy project siting standards and establishes framework for rate relief downstate energy consumers.
According to
is-
that, it was already signed.
It is already signed.
Well, the legal can tell us what we gotta know.
If they are just setting siting standards,
That ain't gonna tell communities what they have to do. That'd be a little big step.
well, like she said, we can't go any harsher.
They're gonna come for my guns.
So we'll have to see what legal says.
In my Bibles. Hey,
Anything further from public?
No,
To
that's
answer your
it.
question, no, we haven't said anything to the county because we don't know what the legal opinion is.
Thought I read something about that with from. And some blank. Did they have a?
I did. Yeah, I just didn't.
But Stuart writing,
Okay, so we are on to anything further from the board members,
motion,
officers.
motion to adjourn.
Yeah.
I make a motion to adjourn. Chris seconds. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. We're adjourned at 7:29.
Thank you.